Township reorganization meeting. Tonight is Tuesday, January 3, 2017. The next order of business is oath of office administered to newly elected Mayor Teresa Berger by Assemblyman Eric Houtling.
Go.
So who's coming up to hold your Bible?
Could I call up my two sons?
Please do.
Zachary and Alex.
Okay, you're going to read that for the mayor. I guess maybe right in front of the podium. Mayor, come forward. In front of the podium, so you're nice and center. And have your sons come hold the Bible.
Is that okay? No, it's fine. That's fine.
Hold the left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I
I, Teresa Berger,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments
and to the governments
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will impartially
that I will impartially
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of the office of mayor
all the duties of the office of mayor
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mayor.
No, you're not going to sign any of this, but the mayor's going to come forward and sign. Can you just move the chair just a little bit? All right, and now you're- Yep, you're going to. All right, I'm going to sign that. and
Ken,
I'll-
am I in the Old Testament or the New Testament? I'm in the Old Testament. It's okay.
Forgive me, please. I was told that I only had 30 seconds. So I want to make it very brief. I'm taking on this position from our previous mayor, who did a phenomenal job in running the town. I look forward to working with my council people here at the dais. I'm sure that we will make the best decisions for our town. I want to thank everyone in Howell that helped me and helped me win this election. There are too many of you out there for me to name, but I see your faces, you know who you are. I want to thank my family for letting me do this. I'm sorry. And
Calm down.
God bless Howell and God bless the United States.
There's no crying in baseball.
Girls can.
The oath of office for,
The oath of office for newly administered to newly elected councilwoman Evelyn Mousberry O'Donnell.
will be done by freeholder Tom Arnone. Is he here? Bob, where is he? Freeholder DeMassa.
Hi, Tommy.
Step out, I'm stepping out.
So we're trying to
waste some time. Well, you can do the other half of the oath. Oh, thank you. A lot more hands.
Not the press.
Rob, I see a
Slow.
little shadow.
I, Evelyn Malsbury O'Donnell,
I, Evelyn Millsbury O'Donnell,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people,
So help me God.
so help me God.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will impartially
that I will impartially
and justly
and justly
perform
perform
all the duties
all the duties
of the office of councilwoman
of the office of councilwoman
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You'd be good up there, Tom.
Well, Happy New Year, folks. I'd like to thank Serena DeMasso, our freeholder, for honorably swearing me in. I certainly appreciate it. And it would be remiss if I didn't thank my husband for all the support that he's given me through all the decades of my public service. So thank you, Tom. You're a blessing. You're a tremendous support system. And I'm sure that with my fellow council members, Howell Township is in good hands. Thank you.
Pauline, what's the odds I'd still be talking?
Me too.
Ask Penny to read the opening statement.
She's writing.
Where'd you go?
She's on
We have to
vacation.
wait for the clerk.
Yeah, she's on vacation. Allison does that. Listen, I may get you in trouble too up here.
My turn.
I'm so sorry. Sally could have handled this.
I told you.
What are we doing next?
Open statement, roll
Oh,
call.
here we go. Opening statement and roll call. Let the minutes reflect that adequate notice of the holding of this reorganization meeting of the Howell Township Council was provided for in the following manner. By the posting of a copy of said notice upon the bulletin board in the Township Municipal Building on December 12, 2016. By the emailing of a copy of said notice to the Asbury Park Press, Tri-Town News, and the Star Ledger for their information and publication on December 12, 2016. By the filing of a copy of said form of notice in the Township Clerk's office on December 12, 2016. The public will be allowed to attend and will be allowed to participate pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Law. The public is reminded that civility and decorum will be maintained during the meeting. Any contracts awarded at this meeting or between now and the next meeting will be required to comply with the requirements of Public Law 1975, Chapter 127. In accordance with the Fire Prevention Code, be advised that this facility is designed with emergency exits for your safety. The locations are as follows. Upon exiting the meeting room, they are to your left and to your right. Furthermore, smoking is not permitted in the municipal building. Please take note that this meeting is being videotaped for possible future broadcast on Howell Television. Also, no food or beverage is permitted in this room. Roll call, Mr. Nicastro?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Donnell?
Present.
Mrs. Smith?
Present.
Mr. Walsh?
Here.
Mayor Berger?
Present. The presentation of the colors. by Howell Township Honor Guard.
Stand.
Everyone, please stand.
I pledge allegiance
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare of bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free?
And the home a word. I front. 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 Detail. Roll. Dismiss.
I would like to thank Howell for playing, Howell Rebel for Rebel Yell, for singing amazingly. Thank you very, very much. It was very inspiring. Thank you. Pastor Chris Tess will come up for the invocation, please.
Want to congratulate our mayor, and I want to congratulate all those who will be honored and placed in position tonight in service in our town council and other positions. And I'm honored to be here tonight, and my job is to lead us in prayer spiritually. And I just wanted to mention just a passage of scripture, Romans chapter 13, verse 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there's no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power resisteth the ordinance of God, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil. Wilt thou now be afraid of the power? Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. For he is the minister of God to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid, for he beareth not the sword in vain, for he is a minister of God, or avenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. Verse number 8, owe no man anything but to love one another, for he that loveth another hath fulfilled the law. Surely we all understand that we can obey and submit ourselves and be part of the town and our organization here of the town and those that are in authority for three reasons. We can do it because we're afraid of what will happen if we don't. We can do it because we know in our conscience that it's right. But the ultimate and the greatest reason is that we do it because we love each other. And that's the best way that we can serve each other is by love. And surely we all owe that to one another. And I'm thankful to be part of this town, and I'm thankful to be here tonight. And again, I want to just congratulate all tonight. And I want to lead us all to pray that God would help us to fulfill all of our roles, as whether we're citizens or whether we're civil servants, to do what He has called us and ordained us to do. And so we want to submit to that authority, His authority, because ultimately He's the one that gave it to us. And so would you join me in prayer tonight? And let's pray for our town. Father, we love you. We thank you for the privilege that we have together to be here in this place. God, it is an honor for us to be able to be a part of this town. And God, it's a privilege for us to raise our families here. God, I do pray that as you have instructed us in your word, that we would love each other, that we would ultimately serve each other because of our love for one another, not just because we're afraid that what would happen if we didn't, or just because we know it's right to do. But Lord, I pray that ultimately all of our motivation would be love, and we know that the greatest love was shown to us through your death and sacrifice on the cross so that we could have a relationship with you. And God, I pray that all of what we do, whether it be in service to our country, our town, Lord, would be, Lord, out of a heart of love for our common man. And Lord, I pray that you bless tonight and all that's done. I pray that as we, God, gather here in this place, that surely your will would be done in all of our lives, and that we would yield ourselves ultimately to you and your purposes. It's Christ's name that we ask these things. Amen. Thank you.
Pastor Tess, thank you very much for the invocation.
Next.
Next on the agenda is the nomination for deputy mayor.
I'd like to nominate Rob Nicastro for deputy mayor.
Second.
Ask for roll call.
I'm gonna. Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
No.
Swearing in Deputy Mayor is Sheriff Sean Golden.
Man, like glasses? Yeah, it's I rifled your purse.
I am not Sheriff Sean Golden.
We switched. Okay. That's all. I help you. Just calm down.
Christine Hanlon does not look like Sean Golden, just for the record.
Let me steal it from me. Allison.
I don't like when they switch.
Okay, I, Robert Nicastro,
I, Robin Castro,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
and that I will bear true faith
I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments
to governments
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will impartially
that I will impartially
and justly perform
and justly perform
all of the duties
all of the duties
of the office of Deputy Mayor
of the office of Deputy Mayor
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Now, you're not gonna swear in the police.
Congratulations, Rob.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We will have the swearing in of the police officers by McKenna Camden.
Actually, Sheriff Sean Golden is going to do that.
Oh,
So, you know, I said that he was
They
going to swear
changed
in the
up,
deputy
huh?
mayor,
they
but
changed it.
I,
Yeah. They changed.
he thought he got away unscathed. No.
This is Chief Cooter.
Yes.
Chief. Okay. He's all right some of the time.
Can say that about everybody.
Good evening, everyone. So one of the greatest honors that I have as a police chief is advancing and promoting and hiring of police officers. And I get to do both of those tonight. So it may be ugly outside, but it's a very nice night in here tonight. So congratulations, Mayor, Councilwoman,
Thank you, sir.
Deputy Mayor. Manager Mayfield, thank you for giving me the opportunity of strengthening our police department, and I look forward to working with all of you over the next year in our commitment to our community. So first, I'm going to call up Captain Tom Rizzo. Captain Tom Rizzo, if you can join me up here, along with Sheriff Golden, who's going to say a few words prior to swearing in. If you can have your family join you up here as well. And I'm going to turn the mic over to Sheriff Golden for a few words. Yeah, yeah.
Chief, thank you. Mayor, congratulations. Councilwoman, congratulations. And I just want to wish everybody Happy New Year. Chief, thank you so much for the honor of having me swear in all those promotions and the new officers. As a Howell resident for over 20 years, I take particular pride in doing so. It's an honor. And I will say, and I get in trouble for this, being the county sheriff with over 48 police departments, Howell Township by far has the best police department. And don't tell my officers, my sheriff's officers that, but they are the best law enforcement agency in the county, and it is with great pride. And we know that because of the long history here in Howell. I always thank publicly our former chief of Howell, Harvey Morrell, who really was the launch of what we see today in terms of professionalism and integrity in serving the people of Howell, and I want to congratulate you on that as well, Chief. So let us commence with the promotions and swearing in officers. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. As of January 1st, Lieutenant Rizzo became Captain Rizzo. Brief background of Captain Rizzo. He began his law enforcement career in 2001 in the borough of Middlesex. When I asked him what his responsibilities were there, he said, getting awards. So that's obviously probably one of the reasons why I promoted him to captain. So once he left Middlesex, he came over here to Howell in 2004, quickly advanced through the ranks, serving in many of our divisions, proudly under my command as well in many of those divisions. Most recently, he was assigned as a commander of our crime suppression unit, which was our street crimes, which is directly responsible for the reduction of our heroin crisis that we had here in town, serving over 300 search warrants in the past couple of years. So tremendous amount of work put forth by Captain Rizzo, and absolutely deserving of this promotion. Sheriff, all yours.
Yeah, you want to join us in the picture? And I'm going to have somebody hold the Bible here. Why don't you guys hold it?
You do a real good job.
Left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand. I, Thomas Rizzo,
I, Thomas Rizzo,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New
and
Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
and I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the
and
same
to the governments established
and to the government
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the
So
state.
help me God.
So help me God.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly
that I will impartially
that I will impartially
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the office of captain
of the office of captain
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my
So help
ability.
me God.
So help me God. Thank you, sir.
Would you like to see this?
Sure. Would you like me to succeed?
So Captain Rizzo will command the Administration and Investigation Division, which oversees the Detective Bureau, Internal Affairs, Policy and Compliance, and whatever else I decide to give to him.
Thank you.
Lieutenant John Yurgo, can you join me up here at the dais with your family? Lieutenant John Yurgo began his law enforcement career in 1995 as a Class II Special after graduating the Ocean County Police Academy for the Seaside Heights Police Department. In 1997, he was hired by the Montclair Police Department, where he remained until joining the Howell Police Department in 2000. He was promoted to sergeant in 2003, and he was assigned to the Patrol Division. In 2015, over the last year, I assigned him into our Services Bureau, Services Division, overseeing our accreditation process, which is our state recognition. And with his promotion to lieutenant, Lieutenant Yergel is going to be under the command of Captain Rizzo, and he's going to be in charge of investigations and internal affairs. Congratulations, John.
Left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand. I, John Yergel,
I, John Yergel,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New
and
Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and I will bear true faith
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established
and to the government
in
established
the United States
in the United
and
States
in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the
So
people,
help me God.
so help me God.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further
that
solemnly
I will
swear
impartially
that I will impartially
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of my office
all the duties of my office
of lieutenant
of lieutenant
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my
So
ability.
help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
John, Lieutenant.
Don't forget to sign the book.
She doesn't appoint the whole line after commissioner,
Yes, she does.
except for who's already on there.
Good job, John.
Right, the new ones. Just where there's no.
Sergeant Richard Conti, can you join me up at the dais, please? Sergeant Rich Conti began his law enforcement career in 1991 as a SLEO 1 with the Seagirt Police. In 1992, he graduated from the Monmouth County Police Academy as a Class 2 Special for the Manasquan Police. In 1994, he joined the Little Silver Police Department as a Class 2. In 1995, he got hired full-time as a police officer with the Monmouth University Police Department. Shortly thereafter, he was hired in 1997 by the Howell Township Police Department. In 2004, he was assigned to our Detective Bureau, where he was responsible for our evidence and identification, and he did a state-recognized phenomenal job doing so. And just with every promotion, you lose a person that excelled at another position.
I have other
And hopefully, somebody's going to fill those shoes of yours. It's a lot of work. I hate to be that person. So he's also been the commander of the Monmouth County Emergency Response Team, which is our SWAT team since 2009. And I've obviously proudly worked with him since he came here on the force. As a sergeant, he will be assigned to the Operations Division
Right,
and the Patrol Division. So
four
congratulations.
new people.
I, Richard Conti. Do solemnly swear. That I will support the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of New Jersey. And that I will bear true faith. And allegiance to the same. And to the governments established. In the United States.
So
And
those are
in
the
this
people
state. Under the authority of the
top
people.
four that we can even place.
So help me God. I do further solemnly swear. That I will impartially. And justly perform. All the duties of my office. As sergeant. According to the best of my
He
ability.
didn't put in a
So
position.
help me God.
And Mr. Sanders.
Good job, Rich. Trooper Stephanie Regina, now Patrolwoman Stephanie Regina, can you join me up here, please, along with your family? Patrol Officer Stephanie Regina began her law enforcement career in 2004 when she joined the Howell Township Police Explorers. After college, she was hired by the Point Pleasant Police as a Class 2 Special. Shortly thereafter, she joined the Maryland State Police, where she became a trooper, where she's been for the past 3 years. And during our extensive process, obviously, we look for the most highly qualified officers for our department. And she obviously was a shining star, being a Maryland State Trooper, which is very comparable to New Jersey. And I'm proud to have her back here as part of our police department. Once again, we carry on a tradition of bringing back our police explorers as police officers. So I'm very proud to introduce you Patrol Officer Stephanie Regina.
Two first names.
Raise your right hand. I, Stephanie Regina,
I, Stephanie Regina,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the
of
Constitution
the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the governments
and to the governments
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the
So
people,
help me God.
so help me God.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will impartially
that I will impartially
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of my office
all the duties of my
as
office
patrolman
as patrolwoman
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Just to show you what type of dedication she has to go through the entire police academy here in New Jersey. It doesn't matter if you're already a 3-year trooper in another state or a police officer anywhere else. You have to go through the entire police academy once again. So she starts in 10 days? 7 days? 20-week academy she has to go through.
Good luck.
Do well.
Remember wishing them luck, Chief, right?
Next up is our reassignments to the Detective Bureau. Can I please have Sergeant Jack Haley, Corporal Michael Pavlik, Officer Eric Incarnation, Officer TJ Hurley, Officer Ryan Richards, and Officer David Gilliland. Please join myself and the sheriff up here, please. Just so you're aware, a detective is a reassignment. Under my administration, I recognize the abilities of certain officers who fit a very good mold of furthering investigations more than just the typical initial call. Hand-selected these officers. They've never been sworn in as officers before. Besides Eric Incarnation, who's the first one here, everybody else behind him are part of the Crime Suppression Unit, formerly under the command of Lieutenant Rizzo. And they are being reassigned to the Detective Bureau to give them a detective status. They deserve it. It's a very nice recognition in our police department, and I wish them all the best. So, first is Eric Incarnation, second is Michael Pavlik. All right.
We're going to do them all together, Chief.
Yeah, we're going to do them all together. Third in line there is Officer Gilliland. Fourth is Sergeant Jack Haley, and following it up there is Officer Ryan Richards, and Officer TJ Hurley is not able to join us. He actually had to stay on vacation. Congratulations, man.
You can stay on vacation, Pam.
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state, under the authority of the people. So help me God. I do further solemnly swear that I will impartially and justly perform all the duties of my office as detective according to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Sign the book.
Signage.
A lot of testosterone right there. those of you who are not familiar with Class 2 specials, they're part-time police officers. When they are working, they have full police powers as a full-time officer, just like myself and these officers up here. When they're not working, they're just average citizens, like most of yourselves out there in the audience. So here in the police department, we're switching things up a little bit. Is this working? We're switching things up in our PD. So we're going to start using our Class 2s as actual police officers going out there and assisting the patrol division. Also processing prisoners, doing court security, and other details that Captain Mark Pilecki, our operations commander, sees fit. In the past, they were used on a very limited basis. This gives us the opportunity to look at these part-time officers for future consideration as full-time police officers. So I introduce you Special Scott Colton Bigelow, Special Andrew Barone, Special Cody Phobes, and Special Matthew Nibbling.
I love hearing babies cry. I really do. I get a charge out of it.
I, Andrew Barone, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the government established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people. So help me God. And I do further solemnly swear that I will impartially and justly perform all the duties of my office as Officer Sleo 2 according to the best of my ability. So help my God.
Am I in the Old Testament?
So Scott, Andrew, and Cody, all of them are already certified Class 2 officers, so they're just making a transition over from their current police departments over to ours. They're going to immediately go into our field training program. They're getting the same exact training as a police officer straight out of the academy gets, and then they'll be able to hit the road as a sole police officer. Matthew is actually going to the full police academy, which begins this month, so he'll be in the full academy. Once he gets out, he'll have a full certification as well. Then he'll enter into the class, into our FTO program. So once again, thank you, family and friends, for coming out. Thank you, everybody, governing body. Thank you for your continued support. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Chief. Do you want to give a 2-minute break so if everybody will leave? Sure. They call a mass exodus, or would you like to just go on with it?
We could give it a break.
Whatever you would like. You would
Would anybody like to take a 2-minute break in case you needed to use the facilities or come back in and we could begin again?
We'll reconvene in 2 minutes.
Just hit the gavel.
I'd like to call the meeting to order.
That's it.
Are you ready?
We're ready.
Okay. Number 9 on the agenda is the appointment of the municipal prosecutor.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Anthony J. Vecchio
Second.
Esquire as appointed to the municipal prosecutor.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
I'd like to appoint as prosecutor of conflicts. We're going to use the court pool as per resolution.
I'll second that.
Roll call,
Roll call.
Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
Appoint public defender Suzanne Brennan
Oh,
Esquire.
boy.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
Appoint public defender conflicts, use court pool as per resolution.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. The Administrative Agent for Affordable Housing Matters.
I'll make the motion for CGP&H.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. Okay.
Affordable housing attorney, Gluck Wherewith, Andy Bear Esquire.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
Affordable housing planner, CME.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
Bond counsel, Gluck Walrath, Megan Clark.
Second.
Whichever.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
Certified tree expert, CME.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
For consulting engineer, we have a pool of them. I'd like to make a motion to appoint Mazer, T&M, C&E, French and Perillo, Nigerian, Remington and Vernick, and Borough.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Can I vote no to part of them?
No. I made a motion for all of them.
Okay. Yes.
Of course she can.
No, you can't.
No, I can't. I know I can't.
You could have.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
I thought one particular one would be.
Disclosure compliance, I would like to make a motion to appoint Casey Financial Group.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
For financial advisory services, I'd like to make a motion to appoint a Casey Financial Group.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
Yes.
Labor attorney, special counsel list.
I think we're good.
Second.
We're on Labor Council,
Yes.
and it was special counsel list?
Yes.
Status? Yeah, okay. Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
Real estate appraisal services, federal, Sockler, value research.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
For risk management consultant, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Brown and Brown.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. Say it again.
You the mayor. Ask them a question.
If I wanted to add someone to special counsel, that is,
And make everybody that you want appointed, make it as one motion. For special counsel, we'd like to appoint,
I would like to appoint Dingman and Brophy. That's all I asked for. But I don't know
you
who's
want
on
to
the
add
rest.
anybody to that list?
I can't find the list.
We have the list of special counsel people.
Right here. That one.
It was Gluck, Degman Brophy, Marriott, and Dasty Murphy.
Is there a second? Is there another motion?
Make a motion that we keep the special council list that we already have.
What?
Into the record.
You have to name them into the record, because
Who was it? Dasty
we
and
haven't done that
Murphy?
yet.
Gluck, Walrath, and was it Alfieri and Jacoby?
No, Weiner and Lesniak.
Wiener Lesniak.
Wiener Lesniak, yes.
Okay, make a motion that those three firms be appointed.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
We did risk management consultant of Brown & Brown already, correct?
Yes, we're on tax appeal
You're on number
appraisals.
28.
Tax appeal appraisal, I'd like to make a motion to DRB valuation, federal appraisals, and Sockler Realty Services.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
Tax appeal attorney, Cleary, Jacoby, Alfieri, and Jacob?
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Abstain.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
Tax foreclosure attorney, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Dasty, Murray, and McGuckin.
Second?
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
For title search, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Two Rivers Title Company.
Second.
Second.
Second it.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger? Mayor Berger, item
Yes.
number 31? Yes?
Township Board, I'd make a motion to appoint Holman, Freeney, and Allison.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
Utility engineer, I'd like to make a motion for Mazer, CME,
I'm
T&M.
sorry, did we
You
do?
got Miss Township, please.
33.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry.
That's okay, item number 33.
Sorry.
Motion for T&M, Stan Slatka.
I'll second it. That's how you pronounce his name.
It is now.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Thank, yeah, yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yeah, I think that's him, yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
Utility engineer, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Mazer, CME, and T&M.
Second?
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
Make a motion that we adopt 2017 for the council meeting to Robert Rules of Order.
Can I suggest that perhaps we group resolutions number
35
35 through 40?
I'd like to make a motion to
Approve.
adopt Robert Rules of Order, the Township Council meetings for 2017, the 2017 temporary budget, 2017 tax payment dates, the adopt a cash management plan, and reauthorize petty cash accounts. I'd like to make a motion to approve all for that.
I'll second that.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
Make a motion to designate official newspapers, Tri-Town News, Star Ledger, and Asbury Park Press.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes, ma'am.
Tax search official, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Susan Davison, an assistant tax search official, Antoinette Ferrara.
Second?
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes, ma'am.
For assessment search official, I would like to make a motion to appoint the wonderful Miss Penny A. Wallman and her trusty assistant for the assistant assessment search official, the elegant Miss Allison Serrano.
Second?
Thank you. Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh? You made the motion.
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Absolutely.
For public agency compliance officer, I'd like a motion to appoint Mrs. Steve Bushkin.
Second?
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
For the Community Alliance, you want me to go through the whole list?
Have to. Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Mayor Berger, Chief Andy Kudrick, Chief Robert Lewis, Joseph Isola, Ronald Sanisek, Krista Riddle, Mike Pavlik, Lynn Reagan, Daniel Reagan, Patrolman Maureen McBride, Stephen Fetcher, Chris Hill, Ruth Marietta, David Thies, Ann Eby, Marilyn Kanelski, Gabrielle Gugliotta Combs, Chris Tice, Camille Masari, Brian Procdow, Nicole Romano, Scott Moses, Susan Dominguez, Francis Schneider, Dennis Glad, Jenna Corrigan Ribbon, Raban, Abigail Price, Robert Imperato, Dr. Yvonne Johnson, Abby Boxman, Robert Lisk, Jose Orozco, and Richard Ninevegi.
I'll second.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
Environmental Commission,
Mayor, these are your appointments.
It's just an appointment, correct?
yes, it's your appointment,
It's an appointment.
so,
You don't need a motion, you're appointing.
Okay, so to the Environmental Commission, I would like to, for member and planning board member,
no. You just go for members, you don't name who goes to the planning.
That's a
well,
mistake.
it's just on here, I'm reading
I
what it
understand.
says.
That's an error. It shouldn't be on here.
Okay.
That's okay. You name the members,
It should be there.
No, it should be.
It should be there.
It needs to designate.
but we designate as the council who goes to the planning board.
So the council will just choose one from the environmental. Fair enough.
Okay.
We don't have to
Fair
choose
enough.
one of these, we could choose somebody who's already.
That's currently sitting
who's
on the
already
environmental. Like I said, fair
Commission.
enough.
You appoint the members to the Environmental Commission. As a
You're-
governing body, we decide who goes on to the,
So you're appointing three-year terms and an alternate two-member for a two-year term,
Correct.
and the
So-
chair.
So the member, three-year term, Joan Osborne. Member, three-year term, Bernie Gierney. Member, three-year term, Charles Senders. And member, two-year term.
Alternate.
As the alternate, Vera Lynn McGill. And I would like to appoint Joan Osborne as chair.
Farmers Advisory Committee?
Is there a motion?
For Farmers Advisory Committee?
Item number 47.
okay. For the Farmers Advisory Committee, I'd like to motion to appoint Elizabeth Crombie, William Walker, Arthur G. Brown, Mary Ann Cernak, Terry Van Ness, Anthony Steinbrun, and John Walter.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
Okay, from Municipal Green Team, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Maria Teresa Berger, Deputy Mayor Rob Castro, Township Manager Jeffrey Mayfield, Purchasing Agent Steve Bushkin, Public Works, George Snyder will be represented on the Green Team, Director of Community Development Jim Herman, for the Environmental Commission Nicholas Czar, for the Planning Board Brian Tenhouse, for the Shade Tree Commission Jerry Barron and Charles Sender. Volunteers, Grace Lowry, Mary Ann Cernak for the Lake Restoration Committee, Kyle Harris, William Smith, Joseph Tate, Joan Osborne, and Sandra Solly.
I'll second with one correction, just that I have some conflicts on some dates, so I've asked Councilwoman Evelyn O'Donnell to fill in for me.
I'd like to change that, so instead of Deputy Mayor Nicastro, Councilwoman Evelyn O'Donnell will be taking Deputy Mayor Nicastro's spot on the Green Team.
Second?
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
I was hemming and hawing about you, Evelyn.
I saw that.
Lake Restoration.
The Lake Restoration and Wildlife Committee, for a member, 5-year term, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Tara DeFlumari, and the chairperson, Edward Runyon.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
For the Mercer representative, 5-year term, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Jesse Tantillo.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes, Jesse's done a really good job these past 5 years, so I'm
debate.
glad to see that he's coming back.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes, the only thing is, on this sheet is something about appointments to 13117, is that true?
No, that's,
Okay. That's just on what we have, so.
it's
make
not
sure
what
it's-
I have. My Mercer representative will serve a 5-year term. Term is 2/1/2017 through January 31, 2022.
Okay, and the one we have, it's an older one, just so you know, it's fine. I'm sure you got the
You'll
right
speak,
thing.
you'll have to speak to his clerical staff.
You know, is Miss Serrani available? Oh, Allison.
No, no.
The Teeteconk Watershed Protection Alliance,
I don't think I took a roll call on the Mercer
Oh,
rep.
I'm sorry.
That's all right, I think I got down to Mr. Walsh. Mr. Walsh, was a yes on the Mercer representative?
Yes, it was a
Yes.
yes, okay.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
Okay, item number 51.
The Teeteconk Watershed Protection Alliance, 1-year term, Barbara Dixell.
Second?
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
With great pride, yes, Barbara, glad to see you still staying active and doing the things you do for Howell Township. You're a credit to this town, thank you very much.
Mr.
Resigning, yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
Mobile Home Rent Control Board, for the park owner, 3-year term, Cindy Lou Jordan. For the member non-tenant unexpired, 3-year term, Karen Molina. For member non-tenant unexpired, 3-year term, Jose Orozco. For the alternate member, tenant 1-year term, William Smith. And alternate member non-tenant 1-year term, Jill Tripodi. And alternate member non-tenant 1-year term, Casey Brown. And the chair appointed by the council, Glenn Cantor.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes, I'm very glad to see this full board again.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
Motion to the Monmouth County Board of Chosen Freeholders Liaison. I'll make a motion for Robert F. Walsh.
Second?
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
No?
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Absolutely.
It passes.
All right, for the planning board, for the class 1, the mayor, Teresa Berger, I'd like to make a motion she get appointed. For class 1, for class 2, 1-year term, official of township, George Snyder from our DPW.
Councilman, the Class 2 is the mayor's appointment.
Okay,
I would like to make that Andrew Kudrick.
Chief Andrew Kudrick.
does he want to?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we've had Chief Carter on here before. That's fine. You know, not that you need my permission, but that's fine.
I appreciate it, though.
For a 1-year term,
Class 3.
class 3, Deputy Mayor Robert Nicastro. Class 4 member, 3-year term, and Environmental Commission member, Nick Azar. Class 4 member, 4-year term, Brian Tenhouse. Class 4 member for a 4-year term, Mayor William Gatto. Alternate 2 member, 2-year term, Tom Boyle.
Second?
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
So I guess it falls under the same thing. I can't say no to one.
It would have to be broken up separately. You'd have to take individual roll calls or pull one and do an individual roll call.
If you want me to go back and do them all individually, I will, if you would like.
Please.
Absolutely. I'd like to rescind that motion and make a motion to appoint Mayor Teresa Berger to the planning board for the class 1 spot.
Second.
Well, it's the mayor or her designee.
Yeah, I don't know that that needed it.
It's, it's the
It's
mayor or her
statutorily.
designee.
Right, so we're gonna
She's
skip
indicated
that.
that she's going to sit, but she also may designate somebody else.
Okay. Make a motion that Chief Andy Kudrick be,
Nope, and that is the
That's
mayor's
mayor's
appointment. We're
appointment.
gonna skip that one. We're gonna move on to class 3.
We're gonna go, yep,
am I allowed to make a motion to appoint Deputy Mayor Nicastro?
Yes,
Yes.
that would be where you'll start.
Well, thank you ladies kindly.
Second?
I really appreciate that.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell.
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
I'm used to being corrected by women. It really doesn't faze me that much. As you can tell, I don't feel hurt at this moment. I'd like to appoint Class 4 member, 3-year term, Nick Azar.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
I have a question. Does that person also need to be on the environmental committee?
Yes.
He is,
He is, okay.
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Class 4 member, 4-year term, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Brian Tenhouse.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
No.
Class 4 member to 4-year term, I'd like to nominate Mayor William Gatto.
That was, forgive me. It's yes to Tannenhouse.
I thought
Forgive
that
me.
was the case. Mayor Berger would like to,
Hold on, do we need to redo that, Ms.
we're going to do a
Montgomery?
roll call again.
Let's
Yes.
redo it.
Yes.
Roll call for Brian Tenenhouse as Class 4 member, 4-year term. Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
I gotta think this.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
boy.
good, I'm good.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. Sorry.
It's okay. It's, I'll be saying I'm sorry.
Class 4 member,
Don't
Right,
worry.
let's keep it moving.
Right, Councilwoman Smith? All right, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Class 4 member, 4-year term, Mayor William Gatto.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
No.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint planning board to an alternate 2-member, 2-year term, Tom Boyle.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
Shade Tree Commission, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Matt McGowan to a 5-year term.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
Point of order, Mayor? I presume that in an effort to save time, we should do zoning board one by one as well.
Okay.
Should we?
Yes.
Sure. I'd like to make a motion, 4-year term, Wendell Nansen.
I'll second that.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
I'll make a motion for a 4-year member term, Tom O'Donnell.
I'll second that.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
I will absent.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
No.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint to the zoning board for a 4-year unexpired term, Rich Mertens.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
And as alternate 1, 2-year term to the zoning board of adjustments, I'd like to make a motion to appoint John Turk.
I'll second that.
Roll call, Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
Mayor, next on the agenda is a hearing of citizens.
This is a very long agenda.
You're going to open the, yeah,
I would like to open the meeting
for public comment.
for
hearing of
public
citizens.
comment.
I think the only person that signed up is Mrs. Dixell, so you want to call her first?
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
You might be surprised.
I love you, Barbara.
You might be very surprised.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I want to congratulate the new members of the governing body. Evelyn, congratulations, moving from one zoning board to the council. Good for you. Welcome, Mayor, Mayor Berger. I hope you will give Howell Township your complete undivided attention to every citizen of this town, no matter what.
I will absolutely try.
I would like that. I would like that commitment from you. Okay, I have a presentation to give you people tonight. Okay, January 3rd, 2017, Barbara Dixell, 62A Piazza Vittoria, Freehold, New Jersey. Howell is very historic and dates back to the 1600s, when the early settlers came here from Europe, England, France, and the Netherlands to escape religious persecution. Howell Township was a large township and was comprised of most of our surrounding local townships. Governor Howell was the third governor in the state of New Jersey. Howell Township was formed in 1801, and Howell Township was named after Governor Howell. The Lenape Indians lived in Howell. The area of Turkey is now known as Adelphia. Marsh Bog became Farmingdale in 1854. Brick Township separated from Howell when Ocean County formed and seceded from Howell Township in 1927. Route 9 and State Highway 33 were based on old Lenape areas to reach settlements.
Was that the Indians, Barbara, that we
Yes,
spoke
yes.
about before?
Yeah, the Lenape Indians,
The
yes.
Lenape Indians, yeah.
Yes. Yes. Stagecoach service in 1850 was on Route 524 and stopped at Our House Tavern. There was a large Jewish population in Colts Neck, and they had the egg industry and poultry industry established in Farmingdale and Freehold. The Naval Earl Weapons Station came in 1943. The Kalmyks, Russian Mongolians settled in Freewood Acres in Howell Township. Yes, Howell Township is very historic. Areas of Turkey, Blue Ball, Bethel, Jerseyville, Fairfield, Howell Station, West Farms, Farmingdale, etc. are all on this historic map. When Howell Township frames this map, please everyone come and look at it so you can see our history. Tonight I am making a formal presentation to the citizens of Howell and the governing body of the Township of Howell of the historic 1889 Howell map on tax map 32. Every historic family in Howell is on this map. Many of the ancestors of these historic families still live and do business in Howell. The township and almost all roads, schools, and buildings are named after these historic families. I am asking the governing body to frame this map and put it under glass so that every citizen of Howell can look at it and realize how historic Howell is. Please hang the map in Town Hall as soon as possible. Barbara Dixell. This, I just want to show it. When you all come to see this map in Howell, you will be absolutely dumbfounded as the names of people and the areas that are on this map.
I'm gonna beat you, Jerry.
And I suggest everybody do come to look at it because
Rob,
it is
beat Jerry
very,
for this.
very interesting.
I'm gonna slap Jerry around for this.
And I do have the history of Howell attached to my speech.
That's money, man. Slap Jerry.
Thank you, everybody, and have a happy, healthy New Year.
Thank you, Barbara.
Yes, anybody else that would like to talk?
Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to come up and say something to the council?
Does this gentleman want to speak?
Yeah, just turn the microphone around.
You whatever you
Happy New Year to everyone, first of all.
tell them,
Happy New Year. Oh, please state your name and address?
Paul Dorado, 27 Firestone Drive. One quick question. I just heard one of the appointments, and I wasn't sure if there was a conflict of interest. I believe it was zoning board,
Tom O'Donnell?
Tom O'Donnell.
It's not a conflict of interest. Ms. O'Donnell just has to abstain from voting on it.
Oh, okay, so that's written anywhere, or is that a code of ethics, or I'm just taking your word for that?
No, it's not a conflict of interest.
Okay, that's all I had. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you just give us one more second.
You can announce the meeting dates for the future. You always announce them at the end of the meeting.
So our next meeting date would be Tuesday, January 24th. The executive section is at 6:30, and the regular session is at 7:30.
Mayor, you want to close the hearing of citizens?
Get the gals here this time to close the hearing of citizens.
We will close the hearing of citizens at this point, but before we leave, I would just like to thank the following people that came here this evening: Senator Barb Singer, Assemblyman Dave Rybel, Assemblyman Sean Keane, Assemblyman Houtling, Sheriff Golden, Freeholder Tom Marone, Freeholder Serona Damaso, Freeholder John Curley, the County Clerk Christine Hanlon, former Mayor Tom Konopka, and former Councilman Juan Malave. And also Vin Copal, the Chair, and our also Democratic Chair, John McCabe. And
Yeah.
please, the former Mayor, Mr. Bob Walsh. I want to say on a personal note to my friends and family who are here this evening, thank you very much for your support. You've always been here for me, and and I know you always will be. So thank you.
Want to close the meeting?
I believe at this time,
Motion to close the meeting.
if there is nothing else to be discussed or no new business, I would like to make a motion to close the meeting.
You're going to accept the motion?
We make the motion.
Oh, please.
All right, she's going to accept the motion
I will
to close
accept
the
the
meeting.
motion to close the meeting.
Motion to close?
Second.
So be it.
Mrs. O'Donnell?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Yes.
Mr. Castro?
Yes.
Berger?
Yes.
That's it.